Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you all would be fine. Today we are going to discuss the properties of monosaccharides. Now write down one question that alpha D glucose plus 112 degrees, then arrow 52 degrees 0.50, arrow plus 190 beta form. Alpha D glucose plus 112 degrees, arrow plus 52.5 degrees, arrow plus 190 degrees beta. D glucose for glucose above represents write down a question. Alpha D glucose plus 112 degrees, arrow plus 52 degrees 0.5 degrees, arrow plus 190 degrees beta form. Now write down the question. D glucose for glucose above represents optical isomerism, mutarotation, epimerization, D and L isomerism. D glucose for glucose above represents optical isomerism, mutarotation, epimerization, D and L isomerism. Now answer is question is alpha D glucose having plus 112 degrees, arrow plus 52.5 degrees, arrow plus 190 degrees beta form. Now D glucose for glucose above represents optical isomerism, mutarotation, epimerization or D and L isomerism. Its true answer is mutarotation. Today we are going to discuss mutarotation. Now what is polarimetry? Polarimetry, measurement of optical activity in chiral or asymmetric molecule using plane polarized light is called polarimetry. The measurement of optical activity is done by an instrument called as polarimeter. Polarimeter is shown. This is a polarimeter and its term is polarimetry, measurement of optical activity in chiral or asymmetric molecule using plane polarized light is called as polarimetry. The measurement of optical activity is done by an instrument called polarimeter. Now, today we are going to discuss mutarotation. All these carbohydrates at 20 degrees centigrade having different rotations. D-glucose, D-fructose having various rotations. Why they rotate? Okay. First of all, I am telling you two structures, furan and pyran. Pyran is actually, first of all, memorize two terminologies, pyranosis and furanosis. Pyron means six-membered ring. This pyran is six-membered ring. Five carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons with one oxygen. It is pyran. When aldehyde group reacts with alcohol, it gives rise pyran. When a ketose reacts with alcohol, it is give rise five-membered structure, four carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, one with one oxygen. It is termed as furan. Pyranose and furanose ring structure. The ring structure of monosaccharides are similar to the ring structures of either pyran, a six-membered ring, or furan, a five-membered ring. For glucose in solution, more than 99% is in the pyranose form. Reactions of monosaccharides are discussed tomorrow. Today we are dealing with mutant rotations and cyclic structures of monosaccharides. Cyclic forms of monosaccharides are named furanoses, total five-membered ring. When a ketone monosaccharides, it reacts with alcohols, they readily, aldose or ketose, they readily reacts with alcohol. If an alcohol reacts readily with aldehyde to form hemiacetal, or pyranose six-membered ring structure, if a ketose sugar reacts with alcohol, it will yield hemiketal or furan structure. That is five-membered. Four carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, one oxygen. Or pyran six-membered structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, five carbons, one oxygen. These are cyclic structures of glucose. And fructose. Fructose will give rise furan, glucose will give rise pyran. Now the ring structure of an aldose is a hemiacetal. Okay, hemiacetal means six-membered ring. Since it is formed by the combination of an aldehyde and an alcohol. Aldehydes are ketones. They frequently react with alcohols. So they will give rise, if they are aldehyde, they will give rise six-membered hemiacetal structure. If they are ketones, they react with alcohol, they will give rise hemiketal or furan or five-membered structure. These are cyclic forms of monosaccharides. The ring can open and reclose, allowing the rotation to occur around the carbon bearing the reactive carbonyl group, yielding two possible configurations alpha and beta. The ring can reopen and close. It is open and closed by addition of the water, allowing the rotation to occur around the carbon bearing the reactive carbonyl group, yielding two possible configuration alpha and beta that depends upon OH position either above or down of the hemiacetal and hemiketal. The carbon about which this rotation occurs is called as anomeric carbons, and the two stereoisomers are called anomers. Crystalline glucose is alpha D glucopyranose. Cyclic Fischer projection of alpha D glucose. It cannot satisfy in the open chain. So it is in cyclic Haworth projection of alpha D glucose can satisfy easily the OH position. So Haworth projection of alpha D glucose in cyclic form is more acceptable as compared to open chain form. There are two main projections. Cyclic Fischer projection of alpha D glucose, whereas Haworth projection of alpha D glucose, it is acceptable, it can easily subscribe the cyclic structure and HOH position around the anomeric carbon. It is around first carbon HOH position, whereas in case of fructose, it is carbon number 2. When drawn in the Haworth projection, the alpha configuration places the hydroxyl downward, while the beta is the reverse. Look at alpha presents the hydroxyl group downward, whereas beta presents out hydroxyl group reverse. When drawn in the Fischer projection, the alpha configuration places the hydroxyl attached to the anomeric carbon to the right of the ring, while the beta is the reverse. Now we are discussing mutual rotation. I am repeating again what I have discussed. Today I am going to discuss the cyclic forms of monosaccharides. First of all, you should have to make yourself familiar with the terminologies. Then pyrrone and furanose ring structure. Now, pyrranose and furanose ring structures. Furan is a structures described as 5-membered ring. One oxygen, furan and pyrran. Furan are 5-membered structure, 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4. Either you can name them 1, 2, 3, 4 with one oxygen. 5-membered ring, pyrran or 6-membered ring with 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with one oxygen. Alpha D-glucopyranose, 99%. If we are going to reactions of glucose with water, then glucose in the solution more than 99% is in pyranose form. These are the ring structure of a monosaccharides. When monosaccharide, its functional group, either aldehyde or ketone, reacts with alcohol, they frequently give furan or pyrrone form. Fructose will give 5-membered structure furan, whereas aldehyde will give rise 6-membered structure pyrrone. These are the ring structures. Now, the reaction related to this cyclic structures are anomers. The ring structure of an aldose is hemiacetal. When that alcohol reacts with that aldehyde, that will give rise acetal, or if it is a particularly glucose, then it will give rise hemiacetal form. Since it is formed by combination of aldehyde and alcohol group. Similarly, the ring structure of a ketose is a hemiketal. The ring can open and reclose, allowing the rotation to occur around the carbon bearing the reactive carbonyl group, yielding two possible configurations, alpha and beta of the hemiacetal and hemiketal. The carbon about which this rotation occurs is called anomeric carbons, and the two stereomers are termed as anomers. Crystalline glucose is alpha D-glucopyranose. I have already told you that anomers occurs in ring structures, cyclic structures, and what is background of all that is clear now. Now it is cyclic Fischer projection of alpha D-glucose. Here is oxygen. Here are 5 carbons. It is its OH functional group. Haworth projection of alpha D-glucose. It clearly lies the position of OH. Furthermore, when drawn in Haworth projection that is more acceptable, the alpha configuration places the hydroxyl downward, this one alpha D glucose, and beta in the reverse direction. When drawn in the Fischer projection, the alpha configuration places the hydroxyl attached to the anomeric carbon to the right of the ring. Haworth, Fischer will show you the OH on the right side, while in beta is reverse. Where in Haworth, you will find OH downward, H above, OH downward or upward. It's a difference. It's a cyclic, it's open chain. More acceptable is Haworth form or Haworth projection. Now, what is mutual rotation? Mutual rotation, you can say changes in a specific rotation with time. Carbohydrates can change spontaneously between the alpha and beta configurations through the formation of intermediate open chain. This will lead to a process known as mutual rotation. It is a gradual change of a specific optical rotation of the glucose. As you can say, alpha D glucose, it has its optical rotation are at the degrees of plus 112. It's alpha form. Whereas beta D glucose, it has rotation at about 19 degrees. Okay, but they continuous when they react with water. Okay, when water is added, they continuously will change their rotation, and both will be equilibrized at the plus 52.7 degrees. Okay, now glucose solution having 36% alpha form, 64% beta form. Alpha D glucose will be its specific rotation will go down, whereas beta D glucose specific rotation will go up by adding the water. You can define the mutual rotation as changes in specific rotation with time. Change in specific rotation with time. Now, mutual rotation, there is an experiment. Now I am explaining you there are no more slides on mutual rotation. Mutual rotation, we will deal with the experiment of a scientist named as Tarnett. He has done an experiment. Tarnett isolated alpha and beta D forms of glucose. Tarnett Tanret, Tanret and scientists who have isolated alpha and beta D forms of glucose. Now he have put that D glucose solution inside the water. He has found a crystallization of the glucose, and he found two forms. One is alpha D glucopyranose, and another is beta D glucopyranose. Both are showing different optical rotations at different degrees. Finally, they both equilibrize at 1 degree, that is 52.5 degrees. When they opt 52.5 degrees, furthermore, no more rotations occurs. So he found that it is the final destination where both forms are equilibrized them. Furthermore, there are no any change in their specific rotation occurs. So change in specific rotation with time is mutual rotation. Furthermore, when they found they are equilibrized at one position, that is plus 52.5. Furthermore, they are showing no more optical rotation. That form contains 36% alpha and 64% beta forms. I am repeating once again. Mutar rotation, it can be defined as change in specific rotation with time. There was a scientist, his name is Tenret. Tenret isolated alpha and beta D glucose, D forms alpha and beta, D forms of a glucose. He put that solution of a glucose in a water. Then he found crystallization of glucose. That crystallization of glucose contains two forms, alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Alpha D glucopyranose shows the specific rotation at about plus 112 or 111 degrees, whereas beta D glucopyranose shows plus 19 degrees rotation. They shows interconversion with each other. Both forms are interchangeable with each other until unless they have found 1 degree, that is 52.5 degrees. By reaching up to 52.5 degrees, they don't have shown the further any rotation. So they have found finalized there. Furthermore, there is no any interconversion of alpha and beta forms seen. Carbohydrates can change spontaneously between the alpha and beta configurations through the formation of intermediate open chain. This will lead to a process known as Mutar rotation. It is the gradual change of specific optical rotation of a sugar. Today you will go and read the Mutar rotation in detail. Then you can ask question regarding Mutar rotation. Now question, write down the question. Mutar rotation refers to change in pH. Question is, Mutar rotation refers to change in pH, optical rotation, conductance, or chemical properties. Mutar rotation refers to change in pH, optical rotation, conductance, or chemical properties. Now, question is, the predominant form of glucose in solution is a cyclic form. The predominant form of glucose in solution is a cyclic form, hydrated acyclic form, glucofuranose, or glucopyranose. Okay, next question is, The carbon atom which becomes asymmetric when the straight chain form of monosaccharide changes into ring form is known as anomeric carbon atom, epimeric carbon atom, isomeric carbon atom, none of these. The carbon atom which becomes asymmetric when the straight chain form of a monosaccharide changes into ring form is known as anomeric carbon atom, epimeric carbon atom, isomeric carbon atom, or none of these. Next question. The smallest monosaccharide having furanose ring structure is erythrose. The smallest monosaccharide having furanose ring structure is erythrose, ribose, glucose, or fructose. The predominant form of glucose in solution is, answer is the predominant form of glucose in solution. The answer is glucopyranose. The carbon atom which becomes asymmetric when the straight chain form of a monosaccharide changes into ring form is known as anomeric carbon atom. Mutual rotation refers to change in optical activity. Mutual rotation refers to change in optical rotation. Now the general questions regarding previous lectures. Write down. A polysaccharide, which is often called animal starch, is a polysaccharide, which is often called animal starch, is a polysaccharide, which is often called animal starch, is no, we cannot send these questions on group. Okay, the true answer is glycogen. The homopolysaccharide used for intravenous infusion is plasma substitute is glycogen is the answer. Options was glycogen, starch, inulin, dextrin. Glycogen was the answer. The homopolysaccharide which is used for intravenous infusion. The homopolysaccharide used for intravenous infusion is plasma substitute is agar, inulin, pectin, starch. The homopolysaccharide used for intravenous infusion is plasma substitute is agar, inulin, pectin, starch. Agar. The polysaccharide, next question. The polysaccharide used in assessing the glomerular filtration rate, GFR, is the polysaccharide used in assessing the GFR. Some students are confusing in between agar and inulin. GFR is measured by the polysaccharide used in assessing the GFR. GFR is measured by GFR, glomerular filtration rate, describes the flow rate of filtered fluid through the kidney. GFR can be described as glomerular filtration rate describes the flow rate of filtered fluid through the kidney. Urinary inulin clearance is considered the gold standard for measuring GFR because inulin has all the properties of an ideal marker. Inulin has all the properties of an ideal marker. It is freely filtered by the glomerulus, is not secreted or resorbed. I am clarifying the confusion between. Yes, I am repeating. I am clarifying the confusion between agar and inulin. A homopolysaccharide which is used to measure GFR is inulin. Inulin has all the properties of an ideal marker. It is freely filtered by the glomerulus, is not secreted or resorbed in the tubules, and is not synthesized or metabolized by the kidney. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Uh, no, I cannot unmute you. Because when I'll unmute you, you will not understand. You are all are going to talk simultaneously, so I cannot going make clear concept of things. I'm going to clarify you the two concepts of homopolysaccharides, inulin and agar. Now, urinary inulin clearance is considered the gold standard. Uh, I'm going to repeat both questions. I'm going to clarify you between the inulin and agar. Now, question was a polysaccharide, which is often called a homopolysaccharide, which is used for the polysaccharide, which is assessing the glomerular filtration rate. The answer is inulin. A student has written agar. So I'm going to clarify the true answer is inulin because inulin has all the properties. Inulin is polymer of fructose. It has all the properties of an ideal marker. It is freely filtered by the glomerulus, is not secreted nor resorbed in the tubules, and is not synthesized or metabolized by the kidney. Urinary inulin clearance is considered the gold standard for measuring GFR. Now agar. Agar Agar is a jelly-like substance obtained from red algae. Agar yes, this question that why majority of sugars in higher animals are of D types, why enzyme machinery will be dealt in the chapters of enzymes. Let me finish the agar, then I am giving answer of this question. Agar is a jelly-like substance obtained from red algae. Agar is a mixture of two components, linear polysaccharide agarose and a heterogeneous mixture of smaller molecules called agropectin. Agropectin and agarose will form the agar. Agar is used as a laxative, an appetite suppressant. Agar is made up of it's a jelly-like substance obtained from red algae. Agar is a mixture of two components, a linear polysaccharide agarose and a heterogeneous mixture of smaller molecules called agropectin. Linear polysaccharide agarose and a heterogeneous mixture of smaller molecule called agropectin. Okay, my question was, can it be used as a plasma expander? A homopolysaccharide which can be IV transfusion and plasma substance. Wait. You are right that dextran is used as a plasma expander, but wait for a while. Uh, Plasma expanders are given in the condition when patient is suffering from a shock. But wait for a while. I may clarify the question. Uh, the homopolysaccharide which is used for intravenous infusion as plasma substitute is agar. The homopolysaccharide used for intravenous infusion as plasma substitute is agar. Options was agar, inulin, pectin, or starch. The answer was agar. Now, why it is termed as it's used as a plasma expander? It is used in the patients of shock and hemorrhages. Plasma expanders are agents that have relatively high molecular weight and boost the plasma volume by increasing the osmotic pressure. They are used to treat patients who have suffered hemorrhage or shock. Dextrans are plasma expanders, but they agar with additions can be used as plasma expanders. Most commonly used IV fluid for volume expansion is normal saline. First generation plasma substitutes are albumin, gelatin, dextrans. Dextrans, albumins, gelatins, these are all used as plasma volume expanders. They have been developed as plasma substitutes in the treatment of hemorrhage or hypovolemic shock. Albumin, gelatin, dextrans were rapidly substituted by chemically modified polysaccharides. Okay, बस यो clear थे. Agar is a true answer. Dextrans, gelatin, albumin, these are plasma volume expanders. They are used in the patients of shock, hypovolemic shock, and hemorrhagic shocks and hypovolemia. They expand the plasma volume by creating osmotic pressure. Today you have to focus on mutarotation, anomeric carbons, alpha and beta configuration, and those questions which I have given you today. Yes, remaining enzyme. D sugars are biologically important. Now answer beyond that, the organisms that ate this first life form would have to have the same selective enzymes in order to digest them. There is a fact that all life forms only use L amino acids and D sugars. First of all, clear this. All life forms only use L amino acids. Amino acids are in L form, capital L, where sugars are D. Dextrorotatory amino acids are levorotatory. Reason? The presence of only one isomer is called homochirality. It should be noted that some L sugars can also be broken down by metabolic pathways. Now reason beyond that. Sugars can form rings, and the D sugars forms a more stable ring than the L sugars. Sugar can forms the rings, and D sugars forms a more stable ring than the L sugar. First of all, two answers. D-glucose is more common in nature simply because that's the way early organisms formed. Glucose and eventually other more complex life forms descended from them maintained the same enzyme and pathway that formed D-glucose. I am going to clear you this D and L form and enzymatic machinery tomorrow in detail. Today you have to memorize mutarotation and alpha and B cyclic forms and concentrate on the question which I have given you. Okay, tomorrow I will focus on D-glucose. Okay, class is over here.